Our first habit of a poor listener is defensive responding, which is failing to listen or failing to try to understand what a speaker is saying because they feel psychologically threatened by something the speaker said or did, responding with, quote, chips on their shoulder. Because the audience or group members are in a defensive state of mind, they are not actively engaging and listening to what the speaker is talking about. In the first example, we have a speaker presenting his opinion on President Trump. While he delivers his message, the audience is so fed up with the initial content that they completely disregard the rest of the talk. Throughout the semester, our group has always worked on avoiding defensive responding, especially in situations when coming up with presentation ideas and other creative content. Next, we have focusing on irrelevancies. This is becoming distracted from a speaker's message by unimportant details, such as dress, accent, physical appearance, or things in the environment. In the first example, Sam drew a woman who isn't listening to the guy because she is distracted by his stick pack. Instead of listening to him talk about what to study for the final, she is distracted by his physical appearance. In our group, a common problem that deals with irrelevancies is looking at our phones during group meetings. Throughout the semester, we actively worked on using our phones less and staying focused at the task at hand. In the second example, the drawing demonstrates how a man isn't listening to his wife, but instead is watching a game behind her. He is focusing on something irrelevant and in the background. Focusing on irrelevancies leads to poor communication amongst group members, along with inefficiencies when completing group tasks.
In the next example, we are covering assuming meaning. This is when you are interpreting the speaker's behavior by using the cultural rules appropriate for the listener. This means that you may interpret the speakers on the way they act or their assumed culture and not what they are actually saying, much like stereotyping. In this example, I'm drawing a picture of a boy speaking in front of his class, dressed in country attire, boots, and also he has a country accent. The girl sitting in the crowd is judging him by the way he is dressed and how he talks and stereotyping him to that look. Our group really values a diverse workplace and never stereotypes. We accept and love all group members, especially Cmst. RIP.
Next is pseudo-listening. Pseudo-listening is when someone pretends to listen while thinking about something else or while daydreaming. In this case, I drew a student in the classroom daydreaming about himself on a desert island while pretending to listen to his professor lecture about math. The few times that my group had the habit of pseudo-listening was when we were tired and had a long day full of studying and exams. We tended to drift off and think about what we were doing after the meeting was over. It took us a little bit to refocus and pay attention to who was talking. Whenever we thought someone was off task and thinking about something else, we quickly reminded them that once we finish, they can go off and do their own thing.
Next, we have silent arguing, which is mentally rehearsing objections to the speaker's ideas without first understanding what it meant. Silent arguing goes hand in hand with defensive responding and results in the audience inaccurately interpreting the speaker's or group member's message. The example of silent arguing in this situation was between a couple talking about the final for a class. While the man suggests making a picture video, the girl makes a misinformed decision on the idea proposed. Within our group, we have always stressed the importance of being properly informed about the topic at hand before starting on a project. Lastly, we have sidetracking, which is defined as changing the topic because the individuals weren't paying attention to the speaker and not connecting remarks to statements of the previous speaker. Sidetracking results in a decrease in group productivity and cohesiveness, as it results in group tension. Throughout this semester, sidetracking has become an issue that we all as a group have had to work towards avoiding. In this example, we have two people talking about a quiz. The man not listening to the conversation changes the topic due to the lack of listening and thus is sidetracking.